this is a story that originally was going to be something else, but I had to add it in here because I just saw a whole bunch of videos of pandering, world-class douchebaggery, okay? And it has to deal with white men, white dudes, white men for Kamala. And just, I just need everyone to understand, stop pandering, liberals. You know, I get it. I get it that Trump scares you. I get it. But if Kamala loses, the meltdown that a lot of these liberals are going to have is going to be priceless. Now, I don't know how this election is going to turn out. Who knows? But the amount of absurdity and insanity that's going to be coming out of these people's mouths, including Mark Hamill, a.k.a. Luke Skywalker himself, all weighing in on this. So, folks, listen, I'm just going to say this. When you hear people talk like this, stay away from them. I mean, yes, it's important to hear different perspectives and points of view. I mean, I get it. But it's just these people cannot think critically. And so, case in point, right here, we got this white dude who says, you know, white dudes for Harris host says people felt uncomfortable about the call, says that when white men have organized in America, it has often been with pointy hats. Well, first of all, every single time a white guy got the white, it's always been the pointy hats. Does anyone want to tell this white guy that the Democratic Party was AKA HQ for, you know, the 3-letter K, the KKK? Does anybody want to tell these white liberals that? Does anybody want to tell them that? Anybody want to talk about that? No? Yes? Yes? No?
No.
And by the way, if there's anybody that fits the profile of looking like a white liberal, it's this dude.
Why are we doing this? Why organize white dudes? And I'll start by really addressing the elephant in the room, which is a lot of people feel and felt uncomfortable about the call. And I think that's understandably so. You know, throughout American history, when white men have organized, it was often with pointy hats on. And so I think
pointy hats, top hats, what are you saying? Every single time? Look, I get it, okay? Not only the United States, but every single country has its fair share of skeletons in its closet, okay? But every single time? What about the Democratic Party, my friend?
I think that discomfort, I think the skepticism is understandable. The reason that we are doing this is because we've just, you know, the left that has been ceding white men to the MAGA right for way, way too long. You know, Trump won over 60% of white men in both 2016 and 2020. And that's going to stop tonight because
it's going to stop tonight. All white men fall in line. Black men fall in line. Latino men fall in line. Asian men fall in line. Arab men fall. Everybody fall in line. Because look, oh my goodness, we're doing the number counter. And look, all that money going to Kamala. Again, white dudes for Harris. You know what? Give it enough time. And these white dudes for Harris will reveal to you their inner bigotry too. They're not as squeaky clean and shiny white as they make themselves out to be. Beware of those who always act holier than thou.
As we know that the silent majority of white men aren't actually MAGA supporters. They're about, why are we doing this?
So, because look, everybody's all in for Kamala. But hold on. Again, the same white guy with the man bun.
And that happens at the same time as the myths around America that we grew up with, that we as men are expected to be protectors and providers, are going out into an economy that doesn't really allow for that, especially for working class folks. And sort of like compounding on that, you know, masculinity as a trope has been co-opted by the MAGA right into something that feeds into and exacerbates the loneliness epidemic, as well as the mental health crisis that many face that end up leading to really destructive behaviors. We aren't the only ones that are hurt by these things. Black and brown people, LGBTQIA plus people, especially trans women and indigenous people, and, you know, all sorts of other folks in our society movement historically and often still today are marginalized and being hurt, demonized, and marginalized even further. So
Does he realize that even white liberals do that too? Especially, by the way, folks, you really want to see a white liberal review their true colors. If you're a black person, Latino person, as soon as you say you're not going to vote Democrat, let's say you're going to vote independent or not vote at all. Oh, will the fangs come out? Will the claws come out? And if they don't do it publicly, they'll smear you. These white liberals will smear you privately behind closed doors. They'll do it. They'll do it. Okay? They'll go from smiles and sunshines to the absolute vicious bastards that they are hiding the rest of the world of seeing their true identity. I've seen my fair share of white liberals, okay? I've seen my fair share of hypocrites. And I got to tell you, listen, folks. Evil, bigotry, racism comes in all forms. And I know it's easy to say, well, look at all these Trump supporters. I've seen my fair share of white liberals. That would make any Trump supporter be like, whoa, hey, dude, whoa. I know it seems a little crazy, but it does exist, especially here in the great windy city of Chicago, which is supposed to be this liberal socialist utopia, Fox News. It ain't. Oh, it most certainly isn't. The amount of mental gymnastics that a lot of these vote blue, no matter who people, will tell you. And again, it's pretty weird. It's pretty weird indeed. But, there's more fun highlights from this wonderful little conference call. Hang on, folks. I hope you're sitting down for this one.
A little bit of a different perspective on why it's so important for us to be organizing. Maurice, kick it off.
Thank you so much, Ross. And good evening. I'm Maurice Mitchell. I'm the National Director of the Working Families Party.
Working Families Party. Ha! What you doing here? Thought you guys were supposed to be independent. Cat Williams, the prophet Cat Williams. All lies will be revealed. Every organization is revealing itself. All these jagoff celebrities, all these politicians. 2024, Year of the Dragon. All lies will be revealed.
It is a true pleasure to be with all of you tonight. And I'm calling you from the Mets game because, as many of you know, the work of a dad never ends. And I want to address the obvious. I'm not sure if you noticed, but I am not a white man. Yet.
You don't say.
Here I am, opening up the white dudes for Kamala call. And stranger things have happened.
A little bit of a different perspective.
Yes, isn't that great? Further highlights, but hold on. Let's give it up for the great legend himself. Former Jedi Master and now full-time Joker, Mark Hamill.
Get rid of the Department of Education completely. They're going to try and remake what we know as democracy into an autocracy. It's no surprise that he idolizes Viktor Orban and the
who else?
The dictators of the world. That's
dictators. Who? You talking about Trump? Huh? Okay, fine. But hey, let's look at Democrat politicians who also not only became good allies and friends of dictators, but helped support and fund them too. Think Markey's ever going to talk about that? No, he won't. No, he won't, because let's face it, folks, Democratic and Republican presidents have backed dictators and tyrants and warlords. But again, we got to focus on Trump because Trump's the end-all be-all threat. Look, I think I made it very clear how I feel about Trump. I don't want to see that man ever run for office, but you know what? Guess what? He's popular with his voters, and he very well secured his nomination process. He is now the Republican nominee, and he is going to be facing off against Kamala Harris. But this is all what they have. They don't have policy. They want to trigger you about feelings because, oh no, Trump said a mean thing. Listen, folks, especially to the vote blue no matter who crowd. You do realize that life is not a liberal arts college campus. You're going to be running into mean people. And you know something? We've got a lot of people tuning in. I'm pretty sure all of you in some point in your life or somewhere later on down the road, you'll run into a Trump. Trump isn't anything new. He exists. People like him have always existed. You always run into him. And guess what? The best way to stop somebody like that is don't feed him. Don't give him power. Don't talk about him. But yet corporate media and the liberal sphere know one thing. If they want to earn a profit, they got to turn Trump into this end-all, be-all boogeyman.
That's what he yearns to be. Again, he said it out loud that he wants to be a dictator from day one. So never has it been more important for us to stand up to his mental illness and vote for Kamala in 2024. What they want to do, get rid of the...
But hold on. It's more than that. Hold on. Because now we're going to be talking about the progressive movement. More white. And again, all this money coming in. You know, this is grade A level cuckery. You know, just all these people just going to bat for Kamala, hiding behind the idea that somehow, you know, oh, it's now there's momentum in the party. As being the nominee, she didn't secure the vote from the people. Now, Democrats, liberals, I hate to trigger you, but you are not needed for the primary process. You're only there to participate and get your gold star. In all reality, the establishment picks who they want as their nominee. You're just participating like good little cucks or good little puppets.
Vice President Harris, because she is the candidate that stands for justice, for freedom, and the future. She's the embodiment of the backbone of the progressive movement. She's a woman. More specifically, she's a Black woman. And Black women have been showing up to elect progressive white dudes for generations. And it's time we show up for them. So I'm challenging everyone listening to this call. Yes, donate, but please, please, over the next 99 days, volunteer. You volunteer.
Everybody volunteer. 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 You know, I if there is the meltdown, if it does happen where Kamala loses, it'll be priceless, because I'm waiting to see these very same people start yelling at us on the internet. I'm looking forward to it. It's just it's going to be one of those things where I'm just going to be smiling and laughing, and I just could hear the Curb Your Enthusiasm music playing as these people are crying in the ether on TikTok. Oh, how come nobody voted? How come people didn't turn out for Kamala? And even if Kamala does win, have you not seen her record as being a leader? Hemorrhaging what, 43 people out of her 47 staff? Her entire voting record? Notice, by the way, folks, Google is scrubbing away Kamala's past history of being a prosecutor. That's a little suspicious. That's a little bit questionable.
Volunteering as a white dude over the next 99 days will be so powerful.
That's right. So white dudes for Kamala are saying it's very powerful for white men to show up. So white men, use your power and force people to vote for Kamala. You got to be out there and pressure it hard.
Make sure that these women who have been the backbone of volunteering for progressive causes see your face on phone bank Zooms. They see your face knocking on doors, standing next to them, having conversations about Vice President Harris.
Oh, yes.
Hey,
nothing gets a date all happy and excited and talking about politics, right? Hey, that's because look, hey, I like talking about politics, but buddy, read the room.
Need support. It breaks my heart to hear them say that they are scared that the country will not elect a Black woman because he's
not paying attention. We've had Black mayors, men and women. We've had Black senators, men and women, state level and federal level, Black House representatives, state and federal level, governors too. Okay. The reason why people aren't excited for Kamala is because she sucks. I remember the 2020 primary. Listen, 2 white men and a white woman defeated Kamala. Kamala only got 1% of the Black vote. And that was before the first primary vote even happened. What does that tell you? What does that tell you how black people feel about Kamala? What does that tell you about how people in general feel about Kamala? I mean, my goodness, man. I'm feeling like Kermit the Frog yelling at Gonzo. Never mind.
Are saying that because they think we won't elect a black woman.
Yes, whatever. So it's kind of weird. It's funny and hilarious. It's funny seeing these guys go into mental gymnastics. But hold on, it gets better. Because now white dudes are going to give a tutorial on how to teach family members how to address Kamala Harris.
We have their back, and we are not going back. Please do everything you can over the next 99 days, starting tonight. Donate, volunteer. And I just have a little tip for everybody. If you have that family member, a lot of us white dudes do, who are having trouble saying our candidate's name and might in the future have trouble saying their name, I have a tutorial. It's really easy. You have to say it very slowly. Her name is pronounced Madam President.
I can almost taste the liberal tears should she lose. And it will be such a delicious feast. And yes, am I being mean on purpose? Absolutely. But I've never seen this level of cope. There's desperation and fear. Desperation and fear. This is where we're at. I mean, I thought it was bad in 2016 with Hillary Clinton and her sycophants. I thought it was crazy with Joe Biden and the vote blue no matter who wave. But this stuff here, K-Hive, I think you've outdone yourselves this time. I think by far this will be written down as a moment of grade A level cuckery that I've ever seen before. And I get it. People don't want to see Trump in office. But what are her policies? Because, white dudes for Kamala, right? I just want to throw this out here. It's very, 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 very important. I think everybody should know. Everybody should ask this. Everybody should talk about this, because when we talk about Kamala Harris, right, who is again running for office, all right, she is, the VP, she's doing all these great things, but as Kamala Harris is running for office, as she is doing everything she can, I just want to pull up her Twitter account, her X account, because it's something I noticed on yesterday's show that really stands out. And it was rather concerning. So let's go and pull this up here. Kamala Harris, fighting for the people, wife, a mamala, auntie, she, her. Let's click on this. That's a link to her campaign website. All it is, okay, donate, close. Where's her policy? Take action. Well, nothing there. What else? That's it? Just only asking for money. What are her policies? What's she running on, white dudes? Tell me. What is she running on? What is she's running on? And of course, you have outlets like the New York Times. Liberal white dudes rally for Harris. It's like a rainbow. A huge video call of self-professed white dudes for Harris showed the breadth of Democratic support for her candidacy and the ways the party is learning to make fun of itself. Oh, yes, white dudes. All these white dudes. That's right. First came the black women who have been meeting every week for 4 years and were ready to spring into action for Kamala Harris. Then came the black men and South Asian Americans. There were also the white women in a Zoom busting pessimism of solidarity and angst. On Monday night, a string of identity groups backing Harris reached its bizarre, perhaps inevitable apotheosis with the inaugural meeting of the aptly named White Dudes for Harris. Listen, liberals, I wish you all the best in the wars to come. Truly. All right. But however, you made it abundantly clear in 2016 and 2020 that any kind of criticism towards the Democratic Party was not going to be tolerated. You said to progressives and independents that they could see the other way out. And now we have white dudes for Harris literally talking down to people on how to speak and how to run things. If you thought that the bullying from 2020 was going to be crazy, get ready for the desperate wailing and crying from the K-Hive Kamala Harris sycophants. I mean, they're going to do everything they can, but I want them to remember, if Kamala was so magnificent, why did her campaign go belly up way back in 2020? I don't know how this election will play out, but voter enthusiasm is key. And Democrats, the way you talk down to people, it doesn't make them change their mind. It actually causes them to walk away. I love you, but you are not serious people.